going? Anthony Ferraro here at Create Sci-Fi. Today I'm on the green screen set for the new project that I'm working on, Zenith Run, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how to create a very inexpensive set, right? So in a previous video I showed you how to make a chair. We did that from the Goodwill, spent about 10 or 12 bucks. The green screen, ideally it's like a painted wall, a cyc with all the corners rounded over, lighting that lives in the room, that lights it all perfectly. But we're talking about low budget here, right? So if you go on Amazon or if you shop online, you can find a green screen. For example, I got this green screen in the 11th hour because I didn't have enough coverage. I think it was like $17 with these little clips on the top. And then the lights, these are just inexpensive soft boxes, right? Traditionally, lighting is very expensive, very complicated, but green screen, we just want even light. We're not doing sort of classic lighting where we're creating looks. We just want to get everything lit evenly, and then in post, we'll create our looks, right? So this is my old office. I moved into a new office. I had a month left on the lease. So this could very well be a garage. This could be a spare bedroom, right? This could be your basement, your attic, right? So let's just take a look at what's going on here. Right, okay, so here's our set, right? It's all there on green. And then let's very ungracefully take a look around, right? So this is just an office. And behind the scenes, everything's crammed in here. There's an old office chair, everything just to get it out of the way. There's never enough room. Maybe there's some stuff in the hallway. And then here is our set, right? And so let's pull back a little. So you see the exposed edges there? This is not a professional sound studio. This is just an office. So let's take a look at the lighting. Okay, here we have the soft boxes. On Amazon, this is probably, I don't know, about $100 worth of lights, right? So what's important with these is evenly lighting everything. We're not trying to create looks. We're just trying to evenly light the subject and the background. That's what's really important. These are the lights that are going to light the background behind the actors. And then these lights are for the talent. I have 3 of these, right? You could probably get away with 2. You just want a nice, even light. Now, I'll show you here a scene from what we shot with that lighting. It's very raw, it's very flat, it's very clean. That's very good. We want something very basic to deal with in post so we can add all the contrast and different colors and looks that we want. Okay, you see this is all even. I'm evenly lit, no shadows, just a nice raw image. The background is clean, we can key that out. Now let's take a look at what happens if we don't have that light on just the screen. Right, you see all those shadows now. So now when we go to key, it's not just green. There's, I don't know, like probably 4, 5, 6 different greens. It's gonna be bad. This is almost as dark as my shirt. So that's why you don't just light the front, right? So there's the light on me, which is good. Then you have to separately light the back. Let's take a look at that again. Right? So now, there's still a few shadows to deal with, but this is a lot easier to deal with. And again, I think I've said this before, if this was my space that I owned and I was going to be in for a while, I would just paint that wall green. And you see this right here. This, if we were shooting, I would take time to make that better. But I'm just trying to share with you sort of things that I've experienced. And what I know is this will be great. This right here is going to be a problem, right? So maybe I'll try to get more light on that, or In post, you know, you're gonna key this with one color and you're gonna key this with another color, right? Does that make sense? And then I have an even light on me, right? I have these two that are lighting the main subject, and then that one in the back, that's like a floater. So when I mentioned that little bit of shadow in the back, that one I would maneuver around, or maybe the actor might need a little more light, but very simple. And then, you know, to expose all the edges, that's what the actor's looking at, right? It's very cramped, it's very DIY, but it works very well. All right, another thing I wanted to share with you, sorry I have to yell, I don't have the lav mic on, the boom mic's back there. If you can notice in the shot, we're in the corner, right? So if you have two green screens, it actually works better if you put it in the corner of the room, and then what that does is it gives you a little extra depth, right? And it just gives you a better shot, because it's all about not having that back wall up on your actors and creating shadows, right? So that's in the corner of the room. The tendency would be to just put it flat against the wall. That will work, but just this is better, right? Hopefully you could tell from the shot, we're in the corner. And that gives us this extra depth back here where you're gonna lose shadow. The green screen keying, especially on low budget, no budget, it's all about what kind of shadows you cast. Because if this is all dark and crazy back here, it's never gonna look good. It'll be workable, but it just makes it more difficult, whereas those lights on Amazon, probably $50. The green screen's probably like 30 bucks to have two, just that light on there, and much, much better. So, because this is tips and tricks, not a industry how-to, I want to share with you something that is really simple, and a lot of people get confused and stumble on this. I've even worked with DPs that are professionals that have never shot on green screen, and this is one of those things that you just need to take a moment to think about and be like, oh, okay, right. So you'll notice in this shot, if I'm the actor, I'm in green, right? But over here, like here, we have all this white. You see these lights, and you might think, oh, you know, there's all this stuff in the frame, the green. You do not need a pristine, clean frame of green. And I'll demonstrate for you right now. So a lot of people think the first time doing this that it has to be completely green, right? And you can't have this here or this or this, right? But I'm the actor, and this is the shot, right? Me on these chairs. Now what happens is when you go in post, you're gonna key out this green so it's gone, and then all this schputz on the outside, we're just gonna mask that out, right? So let me demonstrate real quick here, right? So here I am, I'm on this, I'm talking, it's just all about me in this chair. All this stuff is not in the scene, right? But once I'm keyed out, all right, so I'm keyed out here, this is just a quick key, and then all this stuff, we're just gonna mask out, and then now I'm having my scene. Does that make sense? That's definitely one thing that people, it just takes a second to be like, oh, right, of course. But, you know, I've seen people go through whole productions being concerned that it's all green in the screen. You have the masks. All right. So I think this is a really viable DIY, low-budget sci-fi option. I mean, we see a lot of sci-fi where, you know, they're in a ship, and there's a lot of opportunities for that, and you know, the audience, it's sort of a trope, it's an environment, a style that they'll accept. And it's a good way to get your feet wet and get something started. Now, the one thing I would say, I would recommend strongly if you've never done this before, always do test projects, right? So if you have this idea and you think this is the solution, just do like 1 minute of a test, right? Just shoot a scene, shoot yourself, and just figure out, you know, how it works, and then, you know, you'll be fine. Broken record, again, this is DIY, this is not how to shoot green screen. So the main thing that I hope that I get across in this video is behind me, right? Make sure that you don't have shadows. Make sure that that behind you is lit separately. Do not just put up a green screen and put one light on the subject, casting a shadow back there. It's just not worth it. Well, as always, I hope you found this video useful. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. I love to read the comments. And be sure to check out our merch shop. We got t-shirts, hats. Those really, really, really help the channel. That was 3 reallys. And remember, I'm just here to help make sci-fi.